Hello students, and welcome to this lesson on the area of regular polygons. Our objective today is that we will derive the formula for the area of a regular polygon using journal notes and practice problems. So before we get into the area formula for a regular polygon, first let's talk about exactly what a regular polygon is. A regular polygon is a polygon where all sides and angles are congruent. Now remember, a polygon is a figure made up of at least 3 sides. So we're talking about all figures which have all of their sides being congruent and all of their angles being congruent. So let's go ahead and write our definition here. A polygon with all sides and angles being congruent. So for instance, we have a figure like this. So there's a couple of things that we need to know about regular polygons before we can talk about their area. We have a couple of different things which will be talked about with regular polygons. One is going to be this length here. Now, as you can see, this polygon is inscribed within a circle. So this is exactly what you think it is. It meets the circle at this point, and this is your radius. Now, we also notice how this radius is actually a vertex on the figure. So our radius definition for a regular polygon is a line segment connecting the center to a vertex. And then additionally, we have another brand new measurement that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the distance, not from the center to a vertex, but from the center to exactly one of the sides. So just kind of dropping down to the middle of one of the sides and creating a perpendicular angle there. This is called the apothem. So we'll call this the apothem. And the apothem is a line segment drawn from the center of the polygon to the side that is perpendicular. So that apothem is that line segment drawn from the center of the polygon to the side, forming a 90-degree angle. Now, knowing the apothem, that is our key to finding the area of a regular polygon. So the area formula for a regular polygon is going to be A is equal to 1/2 the apothem times the perimeter of the figure. So this A here is the apothem, and then this P here is the perimeter. All right, so we'll talk about actually finding the apothem later. I think that you can kind of start to see where our method will come from using the radius and the apothem here. However, we will just be given the apothem for these questions. We won't actually have to derive it at all. So let's go ahead and look at a couple of examples. All right, so example 1, we have an equilateral triangle here. And it makes sense to us that equilateral triangles are also regular polygons, right? Because we know that all 3 sides are congruent, and we know that all 3 angles are congruent. So equilateral triangle is really our first example of a regular polygon. Now, we also have some other ways to find the area of an equilateral triangle, but we're going to focus on using it as a regular polygon today. All right, so I know that my area formula is A is equal to 1/2 apothem times the perimeter. So I've got my apothem right here. It's given to me. To find my perimeter, what I'll say is that P is equal to one of the sides times the number of sides. So the length of the side times the number of sides will give us the perimeter. So we have 8 in this case, and we have 3 sides because it's a triangle. So we have 3 times 8, and that'll give us 24. So we know that this is 1/2. We know that the apothem is going to be 4 square root of 3 over 3, and we know that my perimeter is going to be 24. All right, so let's go ahead and do some multiplication here. So 4 and 2, those will reduce each other. Then further, we can say this is equal to then 2 square root of 3 over 3 times 24. But I know that 24 is divisible by 3 because I've got this over here, right? So then I can just go ahead and cross that out, replace it with an 8, cross this out, and my final answer will be 2 times 8, so that'll be 16 square root of 3. And that's my final answer. Now, because this is an area, my final answer will also need to have my units. There aren't any units listed here, so just use units squared. Remember, when we're working with area, always make sure that you give that unit squared. All right, so our second example, first let's figure out, we're given that it's a regular polygon, right? So anytime that you're working with regular polygons right now, it'll be given for you. So it'll state, you know, this is a regular polygon, find the area. So let's count the sides. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so I have 7 sides, and they give me 13.9 for my perimeter. So using my formula, I know that area is equal to 1/2 the apothem times the perimeter, and I know to find perimeter, I can say P is equal to one of the sides' lengths, so 13.9, times the number of sides, which is 7. So I throw this in the calculator real quick here, and I find that that is equal to 97.3. So I know that the perimeter is 97.3 units right now. And then I come over here and I say 1/2 A times P, or apothem times perimeter. So let's go ahead and plug in what we have. We have area is equal to 1/2. We know that the apothem is 14.4, and we know that the perimeter is going to be 13.9. Now, unfortunately, I have decimals here, which means that I'll end up with a decimal answer. So we can just throw this string into a calculator, 1/2 times 14.4 times 13.9, and what we'll get out is 700.56 units squared. So when we're given the apothem, regular polygons, not that hard. I think that you guys will find that you're very capable of doing them. Later, when we actually are learning about the properties of these figures that we're finding the areas of, we'll actually have to find the apothem, which is a little bit more complicated of a process, but you guys will be able to get the hang of it. All right, so for your reflection, first I want you to define an apothem, and then I want you to draw an example of a regular polygon and label the apothem. You're not allowed to use a figure with a side of 7 or a figure with a side of 3 because we've already seen those. So don't use those. 7 or 3. But any other side figure, if you want, draw it. And make sure that you label the apothem. If you have any questions, please let me know, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.